Hello, it is May 4th at 10:45 a.m. This is tarot card reading for Reddit user Alien Abortion. First, I'd like to apologize for the length of your wait. Usually, I'm much more on top on giving readings, but a friend of mine recently passed away and it's affected me more deeply than I thought it would. It's been affecting my production. So I do apologize about that. I felt I could really relate to your question. I too am a Scorpio. I am a woman who identifies primarily as queer, but I've been in a long term relationship with a man. So I definitely see how that can be confusing and the issues that that can produce. So I understand that you just like to learn more about the situation. So today we're doing a 3 card spread that gives us more insight on the patterns in your love life in general, as well as some specific advice on this situation. Today we'll be using my Tarot Art Nouveau deck, which is great for love readings, readings about sex, so by extension, sexuality. So let's begin. So the first card in this spread represents the general patterns and underlying themes in your relationships. So here we have the Queen of Pentacles. What this tells me is in the past you've been very easygoing in relationships. You've been very productive as well. So what that means to me is either you've had multiple relationships, lots of experience, or perhaps that you've been very productive in that you've had longer, fulfilling relationships, as exemplified by the knowledge that you gave me that you were in a long-term relationship with someone before this interest generated. This card also tells me that the depth of your connections with others have been rewarding. Obviously, with the end of a relationship, there's often conflict and pain, but I see here that you've led a good romantic life, you've had strong connections, and when they were good, they offered you a lot, and that the endings have given you a chance to learn about yourself and what went on in the ending of those relationships. The second card we have represents the patterns of resistance in your relationships. So resistance either you yourself present in relationships or you find you keep encountering with others. Here we have the Three of Swords. So here I see that there's been some pain and heartache in your relationship life. So whether that represents the end of the one large relationship or there's a continued pattern of pain, I do see that here. This card also indicates that that pain can be generated by a love triangle. So whether your partner has cheated, you've cheated, or perhaps this represents the fact that you were with your partner but had already generated interest in this male, that may also be reflected here as well. I find this card very interesting considering the easygoing nature and the abundance represented in the Queen of Pentacles. What the combination of these cards tells me is that although you experience heartache deeply, you take it as well as you can and you recover as quickly as possible. That easygoing aspect of your nature assists you with that healing. The last card in the spread represents advice about your love life, about your current situation. Here we have the Eight of Cups. What this card represents is that relationships you've taken for granted have ended and it's time to move on. What this card is telling me in this spread is that you need to look at your love life and realize that the relationships with women that you once took for granted, your sexuality that you once took for granted, is changing. I do see here that you do have some interest in men and that it's something you should explore at this time, whether it be with this man or other men. So we do see that represented here. This also shows me that other relationships you took for granted, including the romantic relationship that you just ended, that you considered to be the quote-unquote one, they have ended and it's time for you to move on. So what this spread is showing me is that you have had some deep heartache, which may be affected by this male, or perhaps there was some other type of cheating involved, but that it's time to move on from those relationships that you took for granted. They've ended. It's time to move on. And that I know you can rebound well because of the easygoing nature seen here. You are entering a new phase where I do think it's a good time to explore the attraction to this man. I think you need to focus on healing and make sure you're over this other relationship. So it may not be a time to enter a relationship with the man, but just reflect on what it was that attracted you to him and what that means about your identity. So thank you again for being so patient. I apologize for the wait, and I wish you the best of luck. Have a good day.